What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. I'm going to try and keep this a quick short update video. I ended up getting the car back together last night and went for a longer drive. I used the original cover that I had drilled holes in, but there was that one larger hole that I put the bulkhead fitting in I needed to fill, and so I ended up using a quarter and epoxying the quarter right to the cover. Then I ended up using one of the aluminum fittings. Here, I'll show you. So along with that bulkhead fitting, I ended up getting it was like a 2-pack of these 90-degree AN fittings. So the threaded coupler, I ended up splitting that and cutting that off, and then just cutting a little bit of piece of tube off the inside, and that left me basically what I ended up JB welding right back to the cover. And like, it's a little difficult to see down in there, but you can see how the fitting comes out. Plenty of clearance from the body. The hose comes onto it right there. And then the where the quarter was, I ended up spraying a little circle on there just to remind me there's a quarter JB welded in my valve cover. So here's a short clip from last night of me actually getting the thing finally running. So as you can see, I'm all back up and running. We're just burning off a lot of the oil that was spilled down onto the exhaust. I've got the cover fully back installed, and I've custom made that hose with 2 elbows, one just to drop right off the turbo and turn out this way and then into the valve cover. That fitting is so strong, I really had to push the hose onto it, and it just feels like you're pushing onto the valve cover, so I'm sure that's going to be good at this point. And you can see how much is still left in the exhaust. I actually sprayed a bunch of soapy water up in there, hoping it'll free up some of the oil. It's something I'm gonna have to just work on and go for a drive and try and get it to blow out. And well, I've been trying to plan this auto vlog, but I literally need a running car to be able to go and do that. At least the car's drivable now, and I can start diagnosing the other problems. There's a little bit of an idle issue, and then a stumble further up in the RPM on the highway. The ECU has no vehicle speed reference, so I know it's not really calculating load properly, and that could be part of the issue. The fuel trims are going to be all over the place. But I am trying to plan on driving this car out to the next town today to get some more tattoo work. It's a little bit risky, but I'm pretty confident that it's good enough to go now. I went for a good drive last night, and the car feels solid. I think, if just stay steady RPM on the highway, I don't see how I'm gonna have a breakdown. So I've already checked all the fluids, and I've actually hooked up the washer bottle, so bugs hitting the windshield, I can spray them off on the highway. I think the next clip is hopefully going to be when I've returned back home, and it's not going to be me stuck on the highway somewhere telling you that I broke down. Well, it is the next clip, and I'm at home. I did make it all the way to the appointment in Terrace and back, which is it's like 280 kilometers, 150 miles on the highway, so pretty good long drive. Didn't really have any significant issues other than it likes to go through a lot of gas. I went through about twice the amount of fuel that I would normally go through. A few other things like drivability on the highway, yeah, there's some stumbling and bucking, and I'm pretty sure it's just because the ECU running the engine has no vehicle reference or vehicle speed reference. The transmission is giving it off to the cluster and probably down to the OEM ECU. So even though it might not be exactly what it needs to be, just giving the factory or the ECU running the engine that reference signal should correct those problems, I think. I just had a good look underneath the car. There's no leaks. That fitting that I installed in the valve cover is going to be a 100%. There's no chance that thing's gonna ever leak on me. There's a few other things we're gonna talk about probably in the next video. I'm pretty sure we're going on that auto vlog. The clutch has got some shuddering. The alignments needs to be done. From all the oil ending up on the right front wheel, I lost one of the wheel weights, so there was a tiny imbalance issue, but it was really high speed. I probably had it going, I was speeding at one point. And let me tell you, after working on the car in the garage for so long, it felt so good to drive it on the highway for that long of a trip. The suspension just feels amazing, and the noises that it makes out of, you know, the turbo spooling up and the exhaust sound. I'm very pleased with it. So auto vlog next week hopefully, and get some of the bugs worked out of this thing. There is a few more smaller parts to go on, but we'll kind of work on that as time goes on. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.